Hello my lovelies, Rob here from Kickback Garage. I have got the whole weekend free, so I'm hoping to do as much as I can on the ultimate lambretta restoration. So if that's something you're following, go grab a cup of coffee and I'll see you after the intro. What is the plan of attack, Rob? I'm a bit tired this morning, to be honest, and I haven't got any. I didn't get any message off Hans if he was coming or not this weekend, so I presume I am alone. And the good thing about that is hopefully we won't set fire to the garage. Yeah, like we did in the last one. So what I think I'm going to do first, before I fit any electrics, any cables or anything like that, I want to sort out the handlebar. There's some grime and stuff in here, so I'm going to just split it, move that, get a wire brush and something, and get rid of all the crap that's in the bottom here. I've changed the bushings to new ones from Casa Lambretta, these ones. And what I want to do is fit all this together, tighten up the rods. I'm obviously going to have to clean these up a little bit, or my weld isn't going to sit. So what I'm going to do is tighten these all up so it's nice and tight, but not too tight, obviously, and weld them up. And then once I've fit the headset to the scooter, I can then mess around with the electrics, because I don't fancy plugging in the electrics, although I think that's really fun, sort of. And then having to take everything off again because we're going to weld on the scooter. So I'm going to weld that on the bench. It's a first for me. Normally wait until I get in on the scooter, which is some odd reason. Let's have a look at the fork. While I've got the welder out, I'll do a bit of wobbly cam. While I've got the welder out, let me angle you down there. I think that's about right. As you can see, we are missing the what is it? Wire hook that's on these Series 2s. I have got a piece of metal. No idea where this came from, but it looks. Yeah, it's the same gauge as the stuff that's used on here. So what I've been doing before I turn the camera on is shaping this, and I've been looking at my Series 1 and 2. The Series 2 hasn't got its original fork. It has a Casa Lambretta fork on there, Repro, which works fine. But what I'm doing, I've been looking at the hook, how that is welded on, and obviously I can see the position because there's a bit of it left here. So I'm going to have to grind this down and clean it up a little bit. I need to bend this like that, and I'll just weld that into place there, so I've got something to hold the cables with. I was actually considering fitting a Series 3 type cable guide. I've got one of those lying around, but yeah, it's we're trying to make this look as original as possible, and there is a bit of rust here, so I don't think it's really going to be a problem. And what I'll do, I think, once I've tacked this into place, I am going to just paint it with that overcoat so that it won't rust anymore. So that is the job in hand. Right, so I've measured this. I've got this front bendy bit correct. I think actually originally maybe these hooks were tight on each other, but it's actually okay to have that little gap there because it makes it possible to take things on and off, and it's actually not that long. So I think I'm just going to see if I can bend this piece a little bit further up, actually. Bend this piece there. No, I'm going to have to do it in the vise. So I've put it in the vise here, and I just want to make a nice little corner. I obviously can't bend it all the way or it's going to interfere with the vise, but I just wanted to start that off. Another thing I'll do is move it over like that. Clamp it down properly. Oh, what I'm looking forward to the most is actually being able to tidy up the garage. And I have to say, even though this is sort of a fun project, it is playing a little bit on my mind, because when I don't have the chance to get out in the garage because family stuff or work, as you may know, I've got 2 jobs at the moment. Seems to be working. Yeah, then it does play on my mind a little bit, and now we're at the start of March. Oh, it's what's it doing? It's like slushing. Is that a thing? Sleet. There's a lot of sleet outside. And then this is a little bit too long, so just cut it off there and give it a bit more of an acute angle. Halfway there. Yep, that looks about the same as what's on the Series 1. So I'll put that away and tidy up the headset, put that together, and we'll do a little bit of welding. Right, this isn't a tutorial, obviously, but this is a question I've had in the past, and I thought I could clear that up here and now. On this side of the handlebar with the throttle tube, on the Series 2, you have this crazy washer, which is coned. They are the same as on the Series 3. They fit with the corny bit pointed inwards. I think a lot of people think that they should fit the opposite way, with the springy bit on the outside, but the reason why they fit this way on the Series 2 is you've got this little shim that fits on there that sits on the grip, and that means that you can't jam the grip or the throttle tube onto the inside of the handlebar there. The thing that's taken the longest here actually is cleaning up the inside of the throttle tube and the inside of the gear changer there, which is a bit of a pain to get to. Obviously the outside bit's quite easy. So what I'm going to do here now is just going to grease up the throttle tube. I just use loads, but just make sure you use like a slightly thinner, like the bearing grease that I use, the really thick stuff. That's not going to be doing a good job there. So grease up those sparingly. I have fit a new shim here. The old one's there. It's really rusty and manky, and they cost nothing. There's no point keeping it. It's a part you can't see. And I really like a nice and tight, not too tight, obviously, nice tight throttle change and throttle and gear change. So I'm just going to put grease on these, because what I want to do now is slot all this together and get this thing welded up so that I can do something fun. My philosophy when building scooters, motorbikes, whatever it is I really like to, there you can see the throttle tube's nice, and I've also had a little file on the end there so that when I slot this together, if I can get it in there. Ooh, you bugger. Wait, what's going on? There you go. And you can see this is where the slot develops. This little butterfly on the end here slots into this groove, and you can see it's got loads of movement there. So I like to weld those up. If you've got a Series 3, then you've got more problems because they're plastic. I have also put grease into the olive here. I've changed the olives as well. Put that in there. And once I've bolted all this up, you can see that's nice action there on the throttle. Once I've bolted this all up, put the throttle wheel on here and the gear wheel on the other side. I can just tack the end here so that you get rid of that sloppiness on the end there. Don't overdo it. MB also has some shims that you can fit on the end here. Sometimes, which I think is really odd, sometimes this is the way that olives are supposed to fit with the flange on the outside or towards the inside, the middle, if you will, of the handlebar. But sometimes you have to flip them around because they're just too tight that way. You could obviously just get some emery paper or something on there because they're plastic. But yeah, so sometimes I flip them and I fit shims. And because another odd issue you can get sometimes is the throttle wheel or the gear changer doesn't stop on its stop, or the throttle wheel doesn't stop on its stop. Obviously, the gear changer hasn't got one, but it can be too far inwards. Right, let me mess around with this, and we'll do a little bit of welding afterwards. That'll do. All you need is a little tack. And now I can tidy this up, tidy my bench, and get the headset on. That is the handlebar on, tightened up nicely. Normally when I do like a big job, I like to do a little job afterwards, or a fun little job afterwards, just to keep the interest going. But my loving wife is making dinner, and I was thinking about fitting the exhaust, but I think that'll take too much of a long time. So I'm going to do some fun little jobs. I've already made a little start on this. I have fit let me do a bit wobbly cam. I have fit the air intake. I have polished that. Thanks, Hans, for not doing that. Fit the original grill. Hans found that, which is nice. And now I have got the grips in boiling hot water down there. But while they're soaking in there, I thought I would, there's lots of wobbly cam today apparently, I thought I'd actually fit the side panel rubber, because basically everything I can get off the bench at this moment makes me happy. And the exhaust is pretty big, so I thought I'd fit the exhaust, and I might call it a day and actually spend the evening with my wife. You know, when the owner can't make it down here because he's spending time with his wife, I suppose I should be able to do that as well, I reckon. So what I've done, these panel rubbers are really good. They're some of the best quality I've ever come across. I use them on all my scooters. They are the new Casa Lambretta side panel rubbers. Actually quite like Scootopia rubbers as well. But they redesigned these a couple of years ago. The Casa Lambretta rubbers were a little bit thinner, and they didn't quite go as high on the edge. So on the Series 2s, the panels had a bit of a rub, a place they could rub. And the cool thing is, fitting these rubbers, I can see the mark from where the original rubbers. I don't do what they did in the factory. They actually used to glue these down, but I find if you just fit them, then they stay put. They're not like a Vespa panel rubber. They're absolutely terrible, and they end up falling off every time you take off your side panel. But on the Lambretta, they stay put, so I tend not to glue them. These have been in front of my little oven, and they're a bit warm because it's slightly cold in the garage. Not as cold as it has been. It's warming up. Spring is coming, and that also gets me into sort of a panic mode. I would really like to get this out. And something I remembered actually while I'm doing this is I remembered that the last ride we did in the snow with Sebastian, my son, I have to cut that. It's slightly long. That's all the way down there. I think I'm going to cut that rear one. Yeah, the last ride we did with my son, I remember the... where the hell is my scissors? I remember that the Hey, that was odd. My scissors have vanished. That's fun. Just cut these rubbers slightly, trim them slightly, just with a pair of scissors. Good scissors, mind. Yeah, what I remember on the last ride with my son in the snow was the fact that the front light on the Series 1 was flickering a bit. So I think I've got a loose connection or something. And I really have to sort that out before Clocker Run, which is in... Oh, wouldn't it be cool if Hans could join us? It's in the end of March when we put the clocks back. Right, so that's that rubber on. Shall we try and fish out the grips? And see if we can stick those on there. Need a screwdriver, I think. If I remember rightly, they got really, really supple when we'd soaked them in hot water. And I can feel it already, they're quite supple. The thing is, you have to stretch them. While they're hot, you have to try and stretch them on. Come on, you. It's a strength test. There you go. Nice. I'm just so pleased that we managed to sort it without actually ruining the grips. Nice. Another little job I can do while I am waiting for my dinner is fill the oil in the engine. Oh, it's a little bit easier when the cables are out the way. But I want to try out this little tool that I got from what's it called? Mike Bonnet or Bonnet. I'm really sorry, mate. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I got these when I was down on Scooterist Breakdown with really cool JB Tuning logo. They're sort of off-center, can you see that? Handy little things. And that means even when the cables are here, that makes filling oil dead simple. Yeah, that's what a great idea. Top notch, Mr. Mike. Right, my lovelies. Yeah, cooking on gas. Really, it's just it does take time. Even though I feel like I haven't really done that much, but if I started at the start of the day, yeah. But really pleased with the headset. It's nice. It's not sloppy. There is a tiny bit of movement, so that it slides nicely. Throttle is good, so I like that too. The grips are back on. The exhaust is on. Got some small parts and bits I put on. So what I think I'll do, I'll call this a wrap. And in the next video, plan of attack, probably fit the wiring loom and then the cables, something like that. And once all that's done, sorted, then we can start putting some bodywork on this. And then it's going to go really, really quick. But it's only 2 weeks until season start. The thing is, Hans needs to take this to the government office. What's it called? It's called Biltilsynet over here. It's like the DVLC. And because it's been off the road such a long time, they couldn't actually find the registration papers. He has the original number for the number plate. So he needs to book an appointment there and go up there and get this shown. And hopefully get it on the road. So, I love you and leave you. If you like this kind of stuff, don't forget, do the old subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. If you want to support the channel, you can buy merch, like this fancy hat I've got on here. Or you can even be a member of the channel. All that sort of stuff helps a lot. And, yeah, I'll see you later. Ta-ra.